there's actually one more construct that we didn't cover, and it's called a for each. Before I actually explain the for each statement, I need to actually introduce you to arrays. So what we're going to do next is really not cover the for each, but we're going to talk about arrays. Arrays is actually a very big topic and is very useful and commonly used, so you need to get a good grasp of arrays and how they work before you progress into more advanced topics. So what we're going to cover in this chapter: first we're going to cover creating an array. Next we're going to cover changing array elements. Maybe next we can do listing array elements, so actually seeing what's inside each array. Getting a size of an array, maybe that could also be useful. Adding and removing next. Then we're going to cover the for each. So we're going to talk about the for each construct just here. And finally we're going to talk about manipulating an array. Right, so 7 big topics here, and we need to start with creating an array in PHP. So let's talk about creating an array. Right, it's actually very simple. We declare a data type just like so, and let's call it array. So it's an array type. There's 2 ways we can do this. We can actually assign the values inside the array. So let's just say 1, 2, 3. So we've actually assigned the elements inside the array. Or this could be words, so that could be ABC, and that could be 2, and then that can be XYZ. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the same data type. It can be mixed, so it could be anything. The other way we can do this is we can just keep it as an empty array and then assign the values later on as such. So for the first element, now arrays, they start at 0, so that we count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and upwards. We don't start by counting 1, so we start counting 0 as the first element, and that could be confusing for some people that might be new to computer science, but get used to it. So the first element this time we're going to put as first. Second element would be number 1, and what we're going to assign it PHP, so it's a string. And finally the third element, we're going to assign it easy as 1, 2, 3. So now we have 3 elements in the array, and what we want to do is we want to use the echo statement to echo them out. So the way we will do that is as follows: echo, and just like we do in a normal variable, we could do the same. We can add it in brackets. We can say $array 0, and then array 1, and then array 2, and these are the 3 elements, and then we just close the bracket and semicolon, and that will basically print out as a string first PHP easy as 1, 2, 3 as one string, because it concatenates using the dot full stop, as you can see here. So that was simple. And don't forget, when you're starting a PHP script, you always start with the tags, and here we're going to use the full PHP tag, and we close as well. One quick thing to mention, maybe I didn't mention it before, one of the reasons why we choose to actually include the full PHP tag rather than the shorthand of just that is because if you're going into XML later on, the interpreter can get confused and think this is XML when it's PHP, so there could be a little confusion. So it's better to actually use this longer tag, the full tag for PHP. So that's creating basically an array in PHP. It's simple, very easy. We can choose to create it in one line, or we can create it and then print the values later on.